My name is Jacob Crowe, and welcome to the Crowe's Perch. Today we'll be going through a couple different stories, the first of which is titled Player Pulls a Knife on Me During My First Session. And without further ado, let's gather up a murder and get right into this story. So, I love reading these, and I was thinking back on my experiences, and remember I have one myself. I don't know why it took me so long to decide to post this, but here we go now. So I was in 7th grade, about 12 or 13, and had been invited to join a group with some friends and acquaintances from school. I was pretty excited, as I'd been waiting to play D&D for a while since I saw Stranger Things a couple summers before. Fast forward to the night of my first session. I had made a character beforehand, a lawful good human ranger. Looking back, I'm kind of embarrassed, but it was my first time. Anyways, I got there and the DM helped me do some final touches on my ranger and gave me a spell. I would like to preface this next part by saying I was pretty young and had recently watched a YouTube video on throwing cards and wanted to show off to these new people. I positioned the card and readied my hand, then flicked it. It did the cool spinny thing, but I couldn't aim to save my life. The spell card curved directions and hit the guy sitting across from me. He was playing a chaotic something dragonborn wizard who regularly got drunk and apparently killed children accidentally via noose. Don't ask, because I don't know. He didn't like this, and decided it was reasonable to pull out his pocket knife and stick it in my face. Looking back, he was a scrawny short kid who didn't look like he knew what he was doing with a knife, and I was and am a pretty big guy. What I mean to say is that I probably could have fought him, but that madman had a knife and it was pointed at my face. I just backed up and raised my hands, moving away from the blade. There was a moment of quiet as the whole table stopped talking and were staring at the knife-wielding child. The DM ended up stepping in and told him to calm the f*** down. Knife Child read the room and realized everyone was scared, and nobody thought he was cool for this. He sat down and apologized, putting his knife away and grabbing a set of die. He apologized and tried to give me some money, to which I said no, because that's weird. We just kinda continued the game from there. Our characters didn't get along, since he was a murder hobo, and my ranger didn't like to kill things if it wasn't necessary. I truly don't know why I kept playing with that group, but I did. Sorry for the anticlimactic ending, but I felt like it probably belonged here. All things considered, I'm pretty sure he was just trying to seem cool with his brand new knife. He lives in Florida now, naturally, on a farm, where he carries a gun with him, for some reason. I don't know. He's weird. Well, obviously it's to defend himself from the 30 to 50 feral hogs that run into his yard within 3 to 5 minutes while his small kids play. Alright, Timothy, tell your friend to say goodbye. We got another wave incoming. But, Paul, I ain't getting more lip from you, son. Now go ahead and set up those landmines. Oh God, I hear him coming. Timmy, get in the house. Timmy, you ain't taking my family from me, you oinking bastards. Yeah, that about sounds like an average day in rural America. Anyway, on to the next story. This next story is titled, The Time I Got Slapped During a D&D 5th Edition Campaign. So, back in 2019, I DM'd for a group. It was a mix between noobs and experienced players. The story begins with a party in a tavern in the town of Neverwinter. There was a good vibe going on in the tavern. People getting drunk, telling jokes, mocking each other playfully, all the 9 yards. The group was composed by 6 people: Marco, Telma, Lisa, my cousin, Tiago, Bernardo, and Bruno. Tiago was the problem. He had a couple months of experience with Dungeons & Dragons, but he was a jack. He was Telma's boyfriend and is Bruno's brother, and him and I were constantly fighting because of things he didn't want to do story-wise. Eventually, this spread to him bickering with the whole flocking table because we were trying to play my story. The pan reached a boiling point when they were traveling in the general direction of Baldur's Gate. After a few interactions between them, silence struck, and no one was saying anything. I started preparing a few encounters, yet Tiago was in annoying mode. Tiago, there he goes, preparing the railroad. Me, excuse me? Tiago, you're going to railroad us. I know it when I see it. I wasn't. I hate railroads, to be completely honest. Only do them when I really need to, like when I need to rush wrap up a session, or when the scenario requires me to do so. And, even then, I study alternatives. Me, buddy, I hate railroading. I won't do an unnecessary railroad, that would be the stupidest shit ever. Tiago, right, and I'm the Emperor of Japan. Stop lying. Me, I'm not. I would show the table of what I'm doing, but it would spoil the next part of the story. Tiago, then show it to me. Me, no, it's spoilers. Tiago,
No, it's a fucking railroad.
At this time, Bruno and Telma intervene. Telma, I believe him. Calm down. Bruno, yeah, relax. I'm sure it's not a railroad. Bruno and I are close. We're friends from way back, and he had played in a few of my one-shots and campaigns. He knows my ways and pet peeves about running Dungeons and Dragons. Tiago,
Oh my god, even my brother and girlfriend are writing your dick. I can't believe it.
Telma, what the fuck? No one's writing anyone's dick. Calm down and let him continue. Tiago,
Only when this admits that he's railroading us.
me, I'm not railroading anyone. Tiago,
Liar.
I'm pretty sure I heard a ree, but my friends don't remember that. It was at that moment that I got slapped with enough force to make me fall. Marco and Bernardo are rugby players, so they tackled him. Lisa and Telma helped me get up, and Bruno was shocked. Bruno,
Why the fuck would you slap him?
Tiago,
He's lying.
as soon as I got up, I put a hand on Bruno's shoulder. Me, it's okay. It's between me and him. I signed for Bernardo and Marco to let him get up. Me, as long as I DM, you won't be in another game of mine. Now get the fuck out of my house before I charge you for assault. He left and we continued the session with no railroad, since I was preparing an encounter with a band of kobold robbers. The aftermath. Tiago and Telma broke up about a month after this episode. Bruno and I remain friends, playing regularly. Telma is now one of my regular players. Lisa kept on playing D&D with me. Bruno, Marco, and Bernardo play MTG, and lots of other nerd games with me to this day. Tiago? He's now playing in what I call the Players from Hell group, since it's composed by 5 players who are banned from groups all around this region of Portugal. TLDR, a guy accused me of railroading. When I told him I wasn't, he got pissed off and slapped me. I for one welcome this transition from edgelords, racists, and other weirdos into just, physical violence over D&D altercations. So, you heard it here first, kids. If you don't like what your DM's doing, punch him in the face. In all seriousness, though, if you have problems with your game, whether it's with your players or with your DM, talk to them. Communicate with them. Don't just escalate until it turns into something else that's outside of the game. Games are supposed to be fun. And I know people can be really passionate about what they want and what they expect out of a D&D session or any other tabletop session, but never let it escalate to the point to where you're hurling personal insults or throwing hands with your player or DM. Cooperative games require cooperation, or at the very least civility. You're not going to be able to get that game that you wanted if you just start throwing around insults, pulling knives on people, or swinging your fists at them. What's going to happen instead is that you're going to end up on one of these posts. And with that, I hope you enjoyed today's stories. This was a bit of a shorter video that I wanted to make, but I kind of ran out of time this week. But I'll try my best to make it up to the murder by posting a longer video next week. So I'll see you guys next time. As the crow flies.